In this video, I explain exercise 28. Let's do 28a first. The yellow part of clock 1 is covered with a layer of enamel. Enamel costs 60 cents per squared centimeters. Calculate the total cost of the enamel. Round your ends to the nearest euro. Now, first, this is the yellow part that I want to calculate, and this is a whole circle. And I'm going to find out a way to first calculate the area of this yellow part. And then I'm going to do it times 16 cents. Perhaps I can do it times 0.16 to round it off to the nearest euro. Okay, let's start. With these kind of exercises, when they are a little bit harder, I recommend you to make a small picture. It doesn't need to look beautiful, just make a picture in your notebook with the measurements and then also with these lines. Now, this part is yellow in your book and this part is blue in your book. We want to calculate the area of the yellow part. So let me write that down first so I know what I'm doing. The area of the yellow part. I want to know it. What is going to be my approach? Well, I can see that this is a whole circle. I know what the radius is of this circle because the diameter is 60 centimeters and the radius is the half of it. So the radius is 30 centimeters. So I think I can easily calculate the area of this whole circle. But that's not what I want to know. I want to know this part. So you know what? I'm going to do the area of the whole circle minus the area of this part. Then the leftover is this yellow part. Okay, so now my new goal is to calculate the area of this part. Now, what I see here is these two half of circles. So what I'm going to do is going to make an extra line here, exactly in the middle. And I'm only going to look at this half of the circle, and I'm not going to look at this half of the circle anymore. So this half of the circle is gone. Okay? Now, I am going to calculate this big half of this circle and this small half circle. And then, once I know it, I can go further. Now, this one, I'm going to call it 1, and this one 2. What's the, let me write it down here. The area of circle 1 is, let me write down a half first, because it's the half of a circle. So I'm going to do half times, and then the formula of the circle, because then automatically it's the half. Now, it's pi times r squared. Okay, so the area of circle 1 is a half times pi times, what's the radius of this circle? The diameter is 40, so the radius is 20 squared. I'm going to calculate it. So that's a half times pi times 20 squared is 628.3185. Let me write it all down because this is not the final answer yet, so I don't want to round off yet. Okay, so this is it. This is the area of circle 1. Now let's calculate the area of circle 2. The area of circle 2 is again a half times pi times r squared. What is the radius here? The diameter is 20, I can see that here. So the radius is half of it, so it's 10. Now I'm going to calculate it, so that's a half times pi times 10 squared is 157.07963327. Okay, so this is the area of circle 2 in my picture. Now, next step is calculate this big half of this circle, so this whole thing here, and then do it minus that part minus that one. So I'm going to take it out. I'm going to take it out, and the part that's left over is the yellow part. And then I finally know the area of the yellow part. Okay, so let's calculate the area of this big half of this circle. Let me do that here. So the area, let me call it big circle is. It's a half times pi times r squared. This big circle, the diameter is 60, so the half of it is 30, so that's 30 squared. Now, calculate it. A half, why times a half? Because it's, of course, the half of a circle. Times pi times 30 squared is 1413.7. And then a lot of numbers. I'm going to just leave it in my calculator, so I don't have to write it all down. Then, what I'm going to do is, let me put circles around this, because I'm going to use all these numbers. I am going to do, my final calculation is this number, minus this number, 628.3, minus this number, so that's 157.07, is. That is what I'm going to calculate. And what I have left over? The yellow part. This whole half of the circle, minus 1, minus 2. Whole half of the circle, minus 1, minus 2. The leftover is the yellow part. And then I can finally fill it in here and do the rest of my calculation. It's still in my calculator, this, with all the decimal numbers. Then I'm going to press minus, and then he's doing ans, that means answer, so the previous answer, minus, what was it again? 628.3185307 minus this one, 157.0796327 is, and this is what is the answer is, which is 628.3185, okay? And then that is the yellow part. And the area of the yellow part is this. And it's in square centimeters. Then I want to know what it costs, the enamel, what it costs. I'm going to do it times 0.16. So the costs are 628.3 times 0.16. So the costs are, it's still my calculator, so I can do times 0.16, which is, let me just round off to a whole euros, because it says round your answer to the nearest euro. So it's 101. Do the waves, it's 101 euros. And this is the final answer. You see a lot of calculating here. In the second circle, the question is, what percentage of clock 2, so this is clock 2, is red? Now, this is all red. And in the book, these two small circles are yellow. Round your answer to a whole number. Okay. Well, calculating your percentage, I'm going to do that at the last part. First, let me calculate the area of the red part. Now, I can see that this is a big circle. I know how to calculate the area of a circle. I also know how to calculate the area of this small circle and this small circle. So that's what I'm going to do. The area of the big circle minus the small circle minus this small circle is, the leftover is the red part. Okay, let's get started. The area of the big circle is pi times r squared. Now, what is r here? The radius. Here, this part is 6, is 22, 22, and 6. So I believe the radius is in the middle, this big circle. So it's 22 plus 6 is 28. So it's 28 squared. Okay, now calculate it with my calculator. That's pi times 28 squared is, again, and pi in my answer, so use this button. And that's rounded off 2463.00864. I write it all down because you can't round off whenever you're not done. I'm not done with this exercise yet, so no rounding off here. Then the small circle, so the area of the small circle. This is a small circle and this is the same small circle. I'm just going to calculate one of them. I can see that the diameter is 22, so the half of it is 11. So it's pi times 11 squared. Okay, calculate it. Pi times 11 squared is 380.1327111. Okay, so that is that. I'm gonna do it times 2. So that's 2 small circles is this number times 2. That's 760.2654222. And then I'm going to do the big circle minus these 2 circles. So that's the leftover is a red part. The area of the red part is this number minus this number. So that's 2463 dot blah 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 minus 760.265 blah 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 is, so that's 2463 minus 00864 minus 760.2654222 is 1702.74. Let me write it all down. This is the area of the red part in squared centimeters. And now I want to calculate the percentage. Which percentage of clock 2 is red? Now, here comes a new, now not new, I think you already know it, way of calculating a percentage. You have to do part divided by total times 100 to calculate a percentage of something. I always give the example, how many students in the class are wearing a black t-shirt today? For example, 5 out of 30. So then you do 5 divided by 30 times 100, and then you know the percentage of the students that is wearing a black t-shirt today. Now I'm gonna do the same, but then with the red part of the clock. The part is the red part, which is 1702 dots blah blah blah, divided by the total is the whole circle, and I already calculated it. It's here. Now it's really handy that I wrote down what I'm calculating, so big circle, because then I can look it up. And if you're just writing down the numbers, you have no idea which number is which number. So this is 2463. So divided by that number. Whenever I'm going to type it into my calculator, I'm going to use all the decimal places, okay? So luckily, this was still in my calculator, so I can press the divided button right away. Divided by this number, 2463.00864 is, that's this number. Somebody know what? I'm going to do times 100 right away. Times 100, because I'm going to change it into a percentage. Times 100 is 69.1. How do I have to round off? Let me check the exercise. Whole number. Okay, so it's just 69. So that's 69% is covered with a red color. In this last circle, it says, calculate the area of the blue rim of clock 3. Now, this is blue, and then in the book, this is green. Round your answer to the nearest squared centimeters. Okay, so I'm going to calculate this area of this blue part. What I'm going to do is going to calculate the area of this whole circle, the big circle, calculate the area of this small circle, which is green in the book. I'm going to do them minus each other, and the leftover is the blue part here. That's my plan. Now, I'm going to show you another way of doing this, and you don't have to write down all those decimal numbers. You just do it in one big calculation. Here's how it's done. I'm going to calculate the area of the blue part, and that is the big circle big circle minus the small circle. I'm going to do it in one calculation. So this is, big circle is pi times r squared. The radius here is 3 squared minus the small circle is pi times 2 squared. It's for the small circle. I'm going to do them minus each other. Sometimes it's handy in order to organize your calculations to do brackets around it. You don't have to do that, but I think it's handy to kind of see that this belongs to this and this belongs to this. Now I'm going to type it all in my calculator at once, okay? So that's bracket pi times 3 squared bracket minus bracket pi times 2 squared bracket. So I typed it all in. It's one big calculation. In all the other exercises, first we calculated this, then we wrote down the answer, we calculated this, wrote down the answer. We had to do a lot of writing. And now I'm just going to do it in once. Enter. It's 5 pi. Press that arrows button. Because rounded off is 15.7. And you have to round that to the nearest squared centimeter. This is squared decimeter. So with squared it goes with 2 steps at one time. So this is 1570 squared centimeters. Okay, so this is the answer of the area of the blue part of this circle. This was exercise 28 explained. Thanks for watching. Bye.